All right, what's good, man? Let's get into it. Football season is here for all you queers. You know what I'm saying? And let's talk about Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm saying? I've been wanting to do this video, and it just bothers me that the Baltimore Ravens, like, I still have a bad stench of what the Ravens did last year. What I mean by what they did last year, yeah, we all know the Ravens are gonna win their division. We all know the Ravens are going to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's not in the question. I'm not here to question the Ravens and if they're going to the playoffs or not. You'll be an idiot to sit here and say the Ravens are not going to the playoffs. But here's the problem that I have with the Ravens. Here's the biggest problem with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And some of the problem is Lamar himself. Now, granted, Lamar, I'm not going to fully blame Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Lamar, listen, a guy who single-handedly wins you games, you can't really blame him. I'm sorry, you cannot blame him. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. You can't blame him. But Lamar, bro, you had a chance to win, and I'm not trying to bring up old wounds, but you have a chance to win against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And you don't do what brought you to the dance, and that's run all over that Chiefs defense when you have wide open lanes. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here, bro? And you have, and according to my co-host CEO, Odell Beckham came out and said, Lamar, he said on the sidelines, Lamar, you start running, bro. Screw the game plan. Start running. Who cares what time, who cares? Hold on. Who cares what these guys say? Like, who cares what these guys say, bro? Who cares what Todd McDunn? What's his name? Y'all know who I'm trying to talk about. The offensive coordinator, Todd McDunn, is trying to say. Who cares what John Harbaugh is trying to say? Just run. We'll figure it out later. And I was watching a podcast with Shannon Sharp and Cam Newton, and Cam Newton said it well. How can you sit like? If Lamar Jackson would have ran for 2 touchdowns and would have won that game against Baltimore, would Todd McMuckin, whatever his name is, Todd McMuckin, that's what I'm gonna call him from now on. Would Todd McMuckin or John Harbaugh say anything to him? You win the game, especially when it's in your court, it's in your field, and you don't win. Like, that game still pisses me off against the Chiefs. Now, granted, I don't care who won, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you hold the Chiefs to 17 points and you score a field goal? Lamar, that's on you, bro. Some of it is on you, bro. You got to run, bro. Especially the wide open lanes you had. You got to run because no one's catching Lamar Jackson. There's no one in the league on defense that can catch Lamar Jackson, especially when he has a full head of steam and has wide open lanes. You should have been running like you a slave trying to go to the north. Like, come on, bro. What are you doing, bro? Like, what are we doing here? But I don't fully blame Lamar Jackson. I think the real problem here is John Harbaugh. Now, listen, look, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this because John Harbaugh has this reputation around the NFL that, people act like this guy's like the Phil Jackson of the NFL. People act like I can somewhat understand why Bill Belichick gets credit. Dude has 6 rings. Like, people act like John Harbaugh's like Andy Reid out here, and I'm sorry. What has John Harbaugh done in the last 12 years? When they won that Super Bowl? 2013? So, 11 years ago they won that Super Bowl? Let's not forget, this guy was going to get fired 5 to 6 years ago if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson falling into his lap. What does John Harbaugh do? Like, what does John Harbaugh do to, deserve the respect that he deserves? I mean, we all give Tom McDuckin, Tom McMunkin. I think that's his name. Tom McMunkin. That's his name. I'm forgetting his name. I'm blanking on his name here. This is all firsthand shoot. We all give him credit for the offense and while Lamar Jackson looks good. In the defense, Zachary Orr, I think his name is Zachary Orr, CEO or someone who's a Ravens fan in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong on your defense coordinator. Zachary or Zach or Zachariah, whatever his name is. I'm getting the name correctly. Black guy. He gets credit for the defense. What does John Harbaugh do to deserve the credit that he does. And listen, this is why I fully don't blame Lamar Jackson for last year. If you're John Harbaugh, and listen, I get it. You have a offensive coordinator who helped Lamar Jackson. But at some point, you're the head coach. You're his boss. You either need to tell Todd McDuckin to tell Lamar Jackson to run, or you tell Lamar Jackson to run himself. I'm sorry. You have, at some point, a head coach has to be a head coach. A head coach has to be a head coach. You got to tell, like Brian, let me not bring him up because I'm so tired of the Giants. But at some point, you got to be a head coach and say, listen, Tom McMuckin, you either tell Lamar to run or you call up better game plans because what you're doing is not working. We cannot pass on these guys. And if I can see from my TV all the way in New York that Lamar Jackson has wide open running lanes, I'm pretty sure Tom McDuckin and John Harbaugh can see it as well too. And if John Harbaugh can see, he needs to tell Tom McDuckin, listen, all these little passing plays that you got, I don't care what narrative you're trying to prove. Listen, if the Ravens are still trying to prove a narrative that Lamar Jackson can throw, this is beyond stupid. If you are a football fan or a football analyst and you don't think Lamar Jackson can throw, you're an idiot. So the guy who's won 2 MVPs, we know he can throw. This is time to win the game. And I'm sorry, if you have the Chiefs, if I would have told any Ravens fans the Chiefs will go scoreless and only score 17 points in the first and second half, and you will lock them up in the third or fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure Ravens fans, even Chiefs fans, and every fan that's watching that game will say, oh, yeah, the Ravens are going to win. But instead, they lose, and they only score 3 points. That is beyond ridiculous. And I blame John Harbaugh mainly for it. You're the head coach. I give some blame to Lamar Jackson, yes, but you're the head coach. You tell Lamar to run. You tell him to run. Because at the same time, Lamar Jackson, listen, and this is one thing I respect about Lamar. Lamar's going to run the game plan. He seems like a good soldier. And he's like, if you're going to keep telling me to pass, I'm going to keep passing and stay in the pocket. Even though I do blame him, Lamar, you need to run. But at the same time, John, you need to tell what your whole predication was, let Lamar go off, whether that's running or passing. The passing's not working. You have wide open lanes. Just let him run. This is on you. Tom McMuckin, whatever his name is, Tom McMuckin, that's on you too, bro. That's on you too, bro. Like, I still can't get over the fact, and I'm going to say this right now, coming up into this season, if the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl, they're not winning the Super Bowl when Lamar Jackson's there. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I just don't see it. You have Derrick Henry. Now, I'm assuming you guys brought Derrick Henry in to run the ball more, especially against the Chiefs. But if you guys don't win the Super Bowl this year, you're not – mark my words, timestamp it. The Ravens will never win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson if they don't get it done this year. You have Derrick Henry now. No excuses. There should have been an excuse last year, but I'm assuming you guys are going to have home field advantage. You're going to be first, second seed. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. But that's my thoughts. What are yours? What's your thoughts on the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson? And where do you think they'll end up in the seeding and in the playoffs? RJ out.